forward, you can see an exposure.
Depends how much of an exposure. With an exposure, we have 6 months ideally of waiting. 3 months is my cut-off point. I know if I go in at 3 months, your particulate graft has gone from salt crystals to some kind of mush to some slowly becoming a rubbery phase. So if we can get to a rubbery phase, which is kind of volumetric stable-ish at 3 months, and you've got a large exposure, you've got a fine line. You need to make a decision to intercept before you lose too much volume, but late enough for your graft to be stable. If you go in at 1 month, it's just particulate going everywhere. If you go to 4 months and you've had a large graft, you could have lost everything. So I think it's a clinical decision, and monitoring your own patients on a regular basis based on your experience. If it's your first one, maybe monitor them every 3 weeks, 4 weeks, okay? And if you start to see an exposure, it may slowly creep up on you. It may not, you may get an exposure of 2 or 3 millimeters. Excuse me, it may stay like that for 6 months. And I'll also add, an exposure does not mean infection. There is a huge difference, okay? I have not seen an infected exos yet. Don't intend to, okay? An exposure is managed with just saline. I personally use Chlorhexidine, but saline is what the recommended use is because it's not infected, you just need to clean it, okay? Now here's an example. I did an 11 unit case and it was fine up until 6 months because 11 units I wanted it there for 9, so I was pushing. So at 6 months it was all good. I've got a photo to prove it. Really happy with it. Month 7, I just started to see a little exposure in the corner. That's fine, it's not going to progress. Literally 3-4 weeks later, the whole thing had exposed. So that's why it's important to keep an eye on it. Now I know I've reached 8 months now. I can remove it in 8 months. It's been there a very long time. Okay? So I knew when I went in, the bone was going to be there. And then I was questioning whether I placed the implants or not at the same time. But actually, we had, despite the exposure, we had 20 bone to place. We placed 3 3-unit bridges for them in the end. But I had enough bone, high enough torque, despite the whole exposure, because it had been there for 6-7 months. So exposure needs to be kept an eye on closely and managed, but it's the earlier exposures that are the problem. And when we get a phone call from someone that's done an exos and says it's exposed in 2 weeks, we know we have problems. Okay, it's closure every time. Okay, so I've got one more.
Yeah.